Entitled woman tries to get family evicted and it backfires. My boyfriend just told me this story and I thought it belonged here. When he was 14 he was living with his mum and sister on a housing estate. It was summer and he liked a bit of light in his upstairs bedroom, so he left the curtains open at all times. That included when he was getting dressed and after having a shower, so if you purposefully stared at his window you could only see him from his waist up. Well, their neighbor did not like that one bit. She went pounding on their door, yelling at my mill that her son was a disgrace, hanging around always naked and exposing himself to her daughter, same age as him. My mill told her he had every right to do whatever he wanted in his bedroom and that if they didn't want to see him all they needed to do was not to look. A couple of days went by and lo and behold, the police showed up at their door. Turned out the neighbor had been filming and taking pictures of my boyfriend to show to the housing people as evidence of his wrongdoing, to get them kicked out. Except that the housing office called the police on her for taking pictures and videos of an underage kid and kicked her and her family out. Sometimes the perceived problem is more the problem of the perceiver than that of the perceived. Wisdom. Smarts. Thinks +1. An old woman called the police once, claiming that her neighbors were exposing themselves to her. A cop shows up to investigate and she takes the cop into a room and points to a window and says, if you look through this window, you can see the neighbors undressing. The cop looks and says he can't see anything since the neighbors have fairly high windows. The old woman slides a stepladder over and says, yes, but if you stand on this, you see everything. Apostrophe. There is a similar story somewhere on here. A guy got reported for being naked and disgusting in his bathroom after his showers where he lived alone. Turned out the woman across the courtyard was climbing on her tub, looking out the 12-inch window at his bathroom to spy on him. Lol. Hollop. Sounds like my neighborhood. I mean Karenhood. I had a similar problem. My fiance was sick from work and decided to take a shower. The bathroom window is frosted and he only had it slightly open, so if anyone wanted to look inside it would require real effort. We had a cookie neighbor who would walk into our yard uninvited. She claimed that our lemon tree was public property and she can walk in to take whenever. So this day she walked all around the back and peered through the bathroom window as my fiance was stepping out. She then ran to the body corporate to complain that there was someone naked in the house. Luckily our other neighbor is on the body corporate and she asked his side. She was evicted shortly afterwards for trespassing on other people's property. Damn lemon stealing whores. I mentioned this to a group chat admin yesterday. Ducking crickets. Glad to know someone remembers. What is it from? It's from the start of a porn movie with hilariously bad production quality. Karma. Sweet. Sweet karma. Entitled Neighbor is a Dumbus. What did she think was going to happen? She filmed an underage kid getting dressed. Some people are just really stupid. Edit. Did not expect this many upvotes. THX. But she needed proof. How else was she supposed to prove how obsessed she was? Sell tickets? Perfect example of what happens when you don't stop and think of where your actions will lead. It's almost like a Dear Abby I read years ago where a lady complained that her neighbors were inappropriate because they did not wear bathrobes in their house and she could see it from her kitchen window. Dear Abby's advice: stop looking or close your curtains. I miss Dear Abby. Reminds me of a time some friends of ours were having problems with these blue hair old biders. These ladies would sneak around the outside of their house, peeking in windows and even though cracks in the drapes. Why, you ask? To see if they were playing cards. No good Baptist would ever play cards and these biders were going to catch them. Friends left that church. In her mind all she could see was a half-naked man trying to tempt her daughter and probably trick her into sex with him. She had to PR what XD what on earth did she expect with those evidences? It's basically child porn she committed for being obsessed to kick them out. Poor guy. I hope you two are married and living happily. That's amazing. I wonder if she got charged for possession of child porn. I hope she did. It'll just become a pedo that will get them kicked out. Neighborhood Karen logic. Except that the housing office called the police on her for taking pictures and videos of an underage kid and kicked her family out. Outstanding move. Imagine her face. Hearing police sirens thinking yes I did it. I got that boy undressing in his own room like a maniac. And have the police immediately turn into her driveway and take her away instead. What a B-sight it would have been. Yale Mayo. Couple of years ago I found some trail cameras on my property. They were the kind that sent photos to a phone. Thank goodness for him that the person who installed them stopped by and explained that he did in fact have permission from my landlord both to have the cameras and hunt out back. Cool beans. But if in following years you are going to do so, permission from the landlord is one issue, informing the tenant is another. Please do both. No idea why, but he was like, why would I have to do that? Because JRS, my then 12-year son, plan was to go dance about wearing nothing but a crown of flowers just to freak you out and load your phone with inadvertent child porn. I did manage to convince him this time it was a mean thing to do. That's what karma does. Hello. 911. I'd like to report myself as a pedophile. Just goes to show you that people who live in glass houses should not throw stones. Turns out stones can boomerang. Who knew? Karma did. It's people like this who help me to understand why people still believe in eugenics. I don't, but I get why others do. At the very least, we can wish that some people hadn't spawned. Years ago, I was living in an apartment complex that allowed reptiles, but not dogs or cats. So I got myself a snake. It was in a tank by a window next to my front door. After a few weeks of living there, the Karen across the courtyard came over to scream at me for corrupting her poor young son. Poor young son was always listening at their window, claiming he could hear the mice dying as I fed them to the snake. Karen demanded I get rid of the snake. I had to point out that there's no way the boy could hear anything all the way across the courtyard. And what was he doing listening, if it bothered him anyway? Besides, I was squeamish, so my snake was only given frozen pinkies and the like. Never live mice. There was nothing to hear. Also, that kid was a serial killer in the making. He'd come over several times to play with my kids, and he kept stealing video games and things, so he hadn't been allowed back. He'd also been non-stop begging me to let him feed live animals to the snake, as he liked the squealing. Karen didn't appreciate being told any of this. She also didn't love the fact that my kids were the only ones his age, so being banned from my place meant she had to deal with him herself. Every time she asked if he could come over, I always just sweetly smiled and said I wouldn't dream of letting him be in a corrupt environment. The satisfaction never faded. I know what kind of kid you are talking about. They will have dead prostitutes in their backyard by the time they are 18. Wait, what? She played the only bitch game and her whole family won the only bitch prize for her stupid trifling nosy ways. When I read she filmed I knew what was coming next, lol. That is awesome. Perfect. And here I thought black holes are the densest things in the universe. 1 bitch. 2 bitch. Gone bitch. New bitch. Can we not get a new bitch? Let's just leave that position open for a while. Yeah? Just post the job as entry level with 10 years experience required. Karen species unlocked. The perverter Karen. Best to use an middle finger and mace should she come peeking. Justice karma serves the disgusting woman right. What kind of pervert sexualized a child? Well, how the turntables. This is why I jaff about dressing in my house with the curtains open. If you wanna look in my house while I'm getting dressed, you're the creep, not me. Lol, imagine literally committing a crime and not realizing it. That is instant karma for you. I'm sure she was thinking HM. Let me take video and photos of a minor. Even though it's illegal, I'm going to do it anyways. It's my right to expose such vileness. This reminds me of a comic that was circling online when the issue of trans people using bathrooms was a big thing. In the comic, a woman is sticking her head over a bathroom stall to stare at the person on the toilet, saying, "I'm just making sure you're not some kind of pervert." People really are like that though, it sucks. Did she go to jail for a little while? The pics and vids could be classified as child pornography. If convicted, she would have also been labeled a sex offender. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.